As part of the Diocese of Springfield's ongoing efforts to justly and compassionately handle all allegations of sexual misconduct, this past Wednesday, Bishop Mitchell Rosansky announced the creation of an independent task force that will be making recommendations on how the diocese can be better responsive to this important obligation to all victims of abuse. During an afternoon press conference, Bishop Rosansky introduced the chair, retired Massachusetts Superior Court Judge Daniel Ford of Pittsfield, and Vice Chair Irene Woods of Greenfield, who is founding executive director of the Children's Advocacy Center of Franklin County and the North Quabbin. The mission of the 10-member task force is to receive the report currently being prepared by Judge Peter Vilas regarding the diocese's handling of allegations of sexual abuse by the late Springfield Bishop Christopher J. Weldon, as well as direct feedback from other abuse survivors and family members.
So waiting for those recommendations and having this task force set up means that we can get started immediately. So I think it's so important, so crucial for us as a diocese that we do this right, we do this correctly, and ultimately we will have all those things in place that we really need to provide both safe environment for all who come to us and response for those survivors of sexual abuse.
The naming of this task force is just the latest action undertaken by the diocese to improve its safe environment efforts. In June 2019, Jeffrey Trant was brought on board as the director of the Diocesan Office of Safe Environment and Victim Assistance. Under his leadership, the diocese has commissioned the Judge Peter Vilas investigation, brought on a new team of investigators, and earlier this month signed on to a joint memorandum of understanding with the 3 district attorneys' offices whose jurisdictions cover all of Western Massachusetts and the Diocese of Springfield. In his address to the media, Judge Ford said the task force will advise the Bishop of Springfield with specific steps for improvement in the following areas: acknowledging the trauma of sexual abuse on members of our community and ensuring the allocations of resources needed to promote healing of survivors. Responding to all allegations of sexual abuse in our church community in a timely, compassionate, and fair way. Ensuring the diocese has a transparent system of protocols and procedures that guarantee respect and due process for all involved. Ensuring that local church leadership is held responsible and accountable for failing to protect children and other vulnerable persons. Holding those who have been credibly accused of sexual abuse responsible and accountable. And preventing sexual abuse of anyone in our faith communities in the future.
Once we receive Judge Vilas's report, we expect that his report will set forth his thoughts about what ought to be done in the future. That's our starting point. But we're not going to end there. We intend to collect further information, further data from various stakeholders, including survivors of clergy abuse, perhaps members of the clergy and other stakeholders, to get their perspective and their information, and use that information to perhaps build on Judge Vilas's recommendations.
Additional members of the task force include Orlando Azaza of East Hampton, Ronald Johnson of Springfield, Father Michael Pierce of Agawam, Sister of St. Joseph Mary Quinn of Springfield, James Stankiewicz of Dalton, Joan Tabashnik of Northampton, Father William Turigny of Chicopee, and Amber Zinni of Northampton, and Maurice Beauvais of Shrewsbury, who will serve as a planning consultant. The Judge Vilas report has not yet been delivered to the diocese, but is expected in the near future, at which time it will be released in its entirety to the public. You can find more information on this task force, including bios of the members, at iobserve.org.